It's time for our Impact Player of the Week, Shannon Moore. Shannon Moore entered the world on July 27, 1979, and ever since has had his eyes set firmly on the wrestling ring. Growing up in North Carolina, he befriended Jeff and Matt Hardy, who had similar aspirations for professional wrestling.
I started at just a real early age, man. It was always a childhood dream of mine, and me, Matt, and Jeff, we were childhood friends, and from there, we started chasing a dream together. It was a passion that we all had, and I was fortunate to have a group to chase it with.
As his skills grew, so did his confidence. Soon the pursuit of his dream took him around the country on the independent circuit.
You hear the term, I eat, I sleep, and I breathe something. And I don't think a lot of people really understand what people mean whenever they say that. Pro wrestling's something that I've always, eaten, slept, and dreamed about my whole entire life. I mean, Hogan, that's one of the coolest things about, working with Hogan now is he's one of the guys just as a kid. I looked at him, he was a superhero to me. I mean, I had coffee mugs, and I would drink my, my sodas out of that at dinner with my family. And, at that time, I wanted to be a pro wrestler, but I really didn't know what that desire was inside of me, whether or not I would become what Hogan is. And then now actually going to Hogan and talking to him, whether it's advice or whether it's, just an idea or anything, it's one of the most amazing things ever.
Moore made the contacts that put him on the professional map, and he soon found himself in front of a television audience. In 2005, a vehicle Shannon was driving was struck head-on by a drunk driver in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The injuries he sustained cost him his professional wrestling contract. The road to recovery led him back to the indie circuit and working at his new wrestling school known as the School of Punk.
I've always been labeled a high flyer, and it's something that I've always done. I've always been part of that. It's who I am in the ring. It's my style of wrestling. It's I can mat wrestle. I can do a little bit of everything, but there's just something about just taking a risk and I can mat wrestle. I can do a little bit of everything, but there's just something about just taking a risk and, just jumping off of, the top rope or whatever it's doing, a moonsault to the floor, just crashing and burning. There's something about it just keeps me going in the ring.
Shannon Moore has now found his niche in the TNA tag team division with Jesse Neal, forming the stable Inc. The tag team wasted no time in beginning a title run, putting the competition on notice. Shannon and Jesse work as well as any tag team could. They complement one another's style and back each other up as partners while preserving their individuality as wrestlers.
At first I was looking more at the X Division title, and I was like, I would love to have that title. I'd love to, wear that with pride and actually represent the company, and in my opinion, the greatest company, the greatest wrestling company in the world, by wearing the X Division title around my waist. So I had my sights I was so just zoned on winning that title from Doug Williams. And, then there come a point where I was like, you know what? I think there's more out there for me than just this X Division title, whether it's the heavyweight, championship or whether it's the tag team titles. And I was like, tag team. And then I seen Jesse. Here's this kid, he's just gotten into business. He hadn't been in the business long, but he had a drive and a desire to succeed and be the best, especially everything he's been through in life. So then we decided to form Inc. And we're going to win those tag team titles. And whenever it's all said and done, we're going to wear gold around our waist as a tag team, as a well-oiled machine. That's going to be Inc. Tag Team Champions.
He is the embodiment of Dilligaff. The ink on his skin isn't just part of a look. It's a roadmap of where his life has been and an expression of his go-against-the-grain attitude.
My goal is to lead a revolution. You see, in society, you got 1% of society that's not afraid to stand out and actually be themselves. And, I want to come into TNA, especially if I can be one half of the tag team champions, and I want to represent these people, and I want to let them know, it's okay to be yourself. If you want to rock tattoos, if you want to, if you want to pierce your ears, or if you just be yourself, Because society right now, like, they're compressing everybody. You're supposed to wear a collared shirt. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. That's crap in my book. And I want to let these people know, especially whenever I become one half of the tag team champions, that it's okay to be yourself. And I'm leading that revolution. I'm leading that revolution to represent that 1% of society that's not afraid to stand out and be themselves. And I don't want it to be 1%. I want it to be 100%. I want everybody to be able to just be themselves, man, because once you realize who you are as a person, it's the greatest thing ever. And just for me, like, especially walking in a restaurant and just seeing heads turn for me being all tatted up, and for whether it's my piercings or whatever, like, getting judged, I love it. Judge me, because you don't know what's inside, man, because I got the biggest heart ever, but I get it all the time. Every time I walk in somewhere, or especially financing a house or buying a car, immediately you walk into the door, they think you're just some young degenerate that's just, you don't have no money, and you're just, and I want the people to know that it's okay to be yourself, and I'm leading that revolution.
Coming up next on TNA Reaction.